All right, here we go. The rise of China as a new power.
Right. Not
be afraid. Be very afraid.
Should be afraid.
Ain't no should be afraid. Come on now. We don't have time to start getting all protectionist and fearing, xenophobic.
Protectionism is what made America what it is. That's the problem.
What are you talking about?
It's easy. We went through the 50s, the 40s, most of the 60s with a very protectionist mentality. American goods sold to the rest of the world so that we can make money at home in our factories so that people can have jobs.
Oh, please. Well, what the hell happened when that model got flipped? Because all of a sudden we became the biggest consumers, the most wasteful people on the planet.
And we went away from protectionism and mercantilism and Keynes economics, and we went towards and we went towards free trade. Oh, the miracle of free trade.
All right, here we go. Okay, so the whole point of our discussion right now is just basically going to be the rise of China. Let's try to focus around that as much as we can because we obviously have some different opinions about this stuff and basically why I think you know we're going to talk about China. I mean there are several countries that are rising or emerging as we call them and we've there's like this acronym, the BRICS.
Right.
BRIC. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and there's actually a host of others. I mean, I can't believe they limit it to those four. I guess those are the four powerhouses, but there are plenty in Africa. There's South Africa. They're like I think the Nigeria, huge. Like the top Angola. Oh Lord, Angola. Like the top. I think 7 of the top 10 were African countries that had the highest percentage of growth proportional to their economies or domestic GDP. Not saying they made more money, but Africa actually featured 6 or 7 of the top fastest growing economies. Meaning the speed by which they grew or how much they grew. And people don't even understand. And then connected
to what you're saying, how much of that is due to China though?
Right. Okay, because again, so now
who's buying what they're selling? It's not us.
Sure. Okay, so now here we go. And great way to bring it back into China because they are buying everything.
And they can.
They are buying everything. They own us.
Right.
The United States. Essentially, they own us.
Right. We floated so many bonds to them. They bought so much of our debt up that we're never going to be free of China. Especially with a continuing, $30 trillion trade deficit or whatever ridiculous number it is.
Aside from the fact that everything's already made in China and then we buy it.
Right. Which is why protection.
Well, that's because everybody's shipping out their damn jobs to China.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that. Listen, oh Lord, because here we go. I ain't trying to bring up class warfare and getting the corporations and unions. And I know. All right, we're gonna have to have a couple discussions about this because it's too much. It's loaded. It's a loaded topic.
Right.
No, seriously. Now, the fact that China is. Do you feel like China's being a bully a little bit?
Absolutely. China is doing what we have done in the past.
I know.
They are flexing,
and then
they are flexing their economic and industrial muscle, and they're showing, hey, we were the little brother, now we're the big brother, we're here now, and we're going to do what we want to do.
At least they're trying to do this. You hear about they're trying to make their currency a world reserve currency.
Right, and why shouldn't they? Because it's been the dollar and the pound.
Right.
The dollar and the pound.
And the euro's got some.
But the euro is just a substitute for the pound. I mean, we know the euro, what the euro really is. But the yuan, what they did was they undervalued their currency, making their goods cheaper.
Making it harder to compete with them.
Right.
And that's why everybody get all mad.
So you buy all their stuff, their GDP goes up.
Right.
GNP goes up, everything went up. They now have money and enough money to buy your currency and rock bottom prices because
and now when you have money, what do? You start mobilizing your military. You start becoming a more powerful
force. Chinese always did that.
Right.
The Chinese, I mean,
well, look at
they're
how. I just want to show
power.
real fast how they. This is what we talk. This is the region we talking about. I don't even know if people can see this. This jug is crazy. So we got, because this is where they acting like a bully all up in here around the South China Sea area.
Right, and the reason is you've got Taiwan, which is the Republic of China. Right. That's their bastard stepchild. You've got the Philippines, which is our little colony.
Right.
You've got all of Indonesia, which is 90% Muslim, which we are dealing with. But more importantly, you've got the Spratlys in this entire area, which is oil rich.
Right. And that's damn oil again.
Always oil.
We ain't gonna get away from oil.
China, with 9 billion people, needs oil. They've got to fuel this monster that is the size of the United States.
So then they come taking over because we had to get some troops around here somewhere. Where we at? Where we put?
We have troops in the Philippines.
But no, we had
have troops
Obama just recently, like a week or 2 weeks ago, had to like signed a bill to send out like 2,500 troops.
Right. But
we don't need like what? Like we still worried about Afghanistan. We still trying to get folks out of places, and here we are.
Because we're finally worrying about the real threat. We're finally worried about the real threat, and the real threat has always been China.
It wasn't.
I mean, Afghanistan.
9/11.
9/11.